Always wanted to be a private eye, yeah I did the time in my college life where I died at night, where I saw the signs that never came to life. I wonder if I'm alright. Yo, what up internet? You guys probably don't know who I am, but I'm DJ Night X. If you guys followed the iCup Brood War scene, I hosted the TSN Brood War Cup a couple years ago. I think the price was like $50. It was a fun experience. First time casting Brood War games, and it was pretty hard, but it was a really awesome learning experience. I'm gonna hopefully be able to do that again. Anyway, so this is my Starcraft story. So the first time I was introduced to Starcraft was after I played Red Alert 2. There was people playing Starcraft because they were like, hey, you should guys play Starcraft, it's a lot better game than Red Alert. At this time I was running like Windows 2000 with dial-up, and I downloaded the demo. Took me forever on dial-up. That's like American Online, alright? So it was like a 30 megabyte demo. There was like, I think like a couple missions, and you can play Terran in multiplayer for like as long as you want. So if you're really good at the demo, then your main was probably Terran. And coming from Red Alert 2, I played a match against another demo person. I guess this person played more than me. I built like a supply depot racks, like really late, like one barracks, and I made like 3 Marines. And like 3 or 4 minutes later, this guy comes at me with like 10 Marines. I'm like, how the crap do you build so fast? Because I know about the cheat codes, but obviously you can't do that online. And he's like, yo, I built like 3 barracks. And I was like, what? You can do that? Because in Red Alert, I didn't learn this until like 3 years ago, that the more barracks you build, the faster they build, but they don't come out of each barrack like how they would in like StarCraft. Like, you know, the more barracks you buy, the more Marines you can actually make at a time. That didn't exist in Red Alert. It just made it go faster, just a little bit. So I learned that the hard way. So I learned about, you know, micromanagement and stuff like that. And it wasn't until like 2005, 2006 that I stumbled onto the pro scene, and I forgot how I stumbled upon it. But I remember watching like Nada, Boxer, and July and Yellow play, and it was like freaking amazing. Like, it was up to the point where I followed ESPORTS, where SK Gaming and like Fnatic were like the freaking big eSport dogs / organizations. And I remember like reading about like the WCG, and I was so hyped out about that in like 2008. And that was when I was in like my K-pop phase. So like the only thing related to Korea that I knew was like gangster movies and esports, and I guess a couple of the K-pop groups. So I like fell in love with the esports scene after that. And then 2009, I was playing, but I wasn't like really good at playing, and I stumbled upon a website called icyhell.net. At the time it was like a Brood War fan site. Now it's just like a bunch of ads and stuff, so you know, forget about that. So I didn't even know, Team Liquid wasn't even a thing to me until StarCraft 2 came out, so we'll get to that later. So in 2009, it was like the last week of high school. Like, I'm about to graduate. I'm like 18, getting ready to get the hell out of there. We got done watching a show, and I was like, hey, let's just go on YouTube. And like, I went on YouTube, and I found like I showed them a boxer match. I was like, hey, you know they play games for a living in like freaking Korea? Like, they get paid to play games. They didn't believe me, so I pulled up a StarCraft video of boxer playing, and it was like people, like the fans in the stadiums and stuff, and everyone in my class was like, what the hell am I watching? And I was like, yo, it's a thing. It's a thing. Esports was a thing. I mean, it wasn't a thing then in America compared to now. So they were like astonished, and they looked at me. It's like, man, what a freaking Asian nerd, of course you watching stuff like this. And then one of my classmates came. I was like, hey man, you got StarCraft? I was like, yeah, I got it on my flash drive. This is when they had portable versions, and it was like freaking awesome. So we played a match in class, and this guy like just put cheat codes. I was like, man, that's not fun. Gotta know how to play like the pros, man. Well, obviously we weren't as good as the pros, so there was that. So I followed it a little bit. I watched the like a couple of the StarCraft variety shows, I guess, like the one he became a pro gamer. I remember watching that, and then I remember the scene in Genie Juno, where the guy was like a StarCraft amateur. I don't think he was like pro, but he was an amateur. And then I remember watching Nada and a freaking dating show with Girls' Generation. I totally remember that. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. And so it wasn't until 2011, late 2010, that I got back into StarCraft. I was introduced to Team Liquid, and then I was introduced to GSL, and I was like, "Oh snap! The passion is back." I'm like talking to all my friends about StarCraft. Like I forced StarCraft down their throats. Like we would try to get StarCraft 2. I would actually buy them StarCraft 2 when it was on sale. So I bought like 5 copies of StarCraft 2, and I forced my friends to get like a couple of copies. Um, they stopped playing. They weren't as good as I was, and so I played for 6 years, and like I never left Diamond, but I was good enough to play all 3 races, casually. And then I tried to go back to Brood War in 2011, and that was a lot harder because I wasn't able to four gate, so I 4-gated my way all the way to Platinum. Obviously, that was a thing. It was stupid. I didn't even know how to expand. I would just 4-gate every game. If I knew I was behind, I quit. And then I got better, learned how to macro, learned how to expand, know how to be aggressive, stuff like that. But I still followed Brood War, and I think I stopped watching Brood War stuff as soon as the last OSL for Brood War ended. I think in 2012, and I was like, forget this. Like I'm done. Like if they're gonna do that, I'm not even gonna play StarCraft anymore. So I like played StarCraft 2 casually, and then the before that they had the hybrid StarCraft 2 in the Brood War League. I was like, all right, cool, I can dig it. All my favorite players are still playing, and then that ended, and then it wasn't until Sonic who like tried to bring back the scene in like 2002, 2013. I guess like right after the last OSL, and it was a good run for a while, and then the Africas, however you pronounce it, did their own Star League, and I was like, sweet, Brood War's making a comeback because all the freaking StarCraft 2 professionals who were like retired went back to Brood War. Like like I remember watching him play like the last like 17 Sonic leagues, and he like won like 8 of them or something like that. Might be over exaggerating, but he won most of them. And then they all started streaming on that Africa streaming site, and then like they were slowly bringing it back, Brood War, and then bam, remastered, announced, and I'm like freaking the nuts out. Like if you saw Day 9 and all those other guys like freaking out, like I pretty much would. I feel like how Tasteless and Artosis feels like knowing that Brood War is making a comeback. I mean, the ASL Season 3 is about to start. Has some really good, notable players like Bisu, Stork, Flash. Oh my god, J-Dong. It's going to be fucking amazing. And hope SlayerSBoxeR will come back. And Nada. I think Nada's playing, right? And oh my gosh, like in the qualifiers. Dude, it's going to be a sick game. Wow. It's going to be amazing. And then I think after that, during the whole weird phase with Legacy of the Void stuff, I found out that Boxer is playing poker, so I ended up studying how to play poker too. I played in the world, the WPT League here in America, and I won an invite to play in the tournament in Vegas, but I didn't have enough money to go, so I was like, whatever. So my big StarCraft experience here was when I went to go see Pro League up in what is it called? Korea. So I was in Korea, and I went to the esports stadium in Yongsan, and I took a picture at the Hall of Fame where they had like the first place winners of all the OSLs up into the recent ones, and it was freaking awesome. I took like 8 pictures of that, and then I met SlayerSBoxeR at the GSL studios, and like, yeah, I'm gonna show this to you guys. I want to brag about this. Got him to autograph this picture. Also took a picture with him too. So I got him to autograph this. SlayerSBoxeR, the Emperor of Brood War, and like one of the kings of esports. Yeah. And then bought like 5 copies of his DVD, which I have yet to watch, but I have like 5 of these copies. Unfortunately, I didn't get it signed, but I think I'm gonna watch it. Like, I'm really excited. Other than that, that's my StarCraft story. Like, I grew up with it. I spent maybe 11 years following it. Yeah, I wish I was like really passionate about it as those guys are. Otherwise, I would have been like a famous caster like Tasteless or Artosis. But I'm gonna get back into it. I'm gonna host online tournaments. I'm gonna do my thing. Oh, and I guess for everyone who's watching, I'm gonna host the next TSN Brood War Cup here in a couple months, like a summer cup where it'll probably be another $50 prize pool, but first place will get a copy of the remastered, like first place. So if you guys are willing to compete, go ahead and check that out. I'll announce it again soon on the Reddit and the Team Liquid forums. On that, thank you guys for watching this really weird video of me talking about StarCraft for about 10 minutes. Best game. Without it, it wouldn't be no esports. I mean, I guess Quake and those games were like, you know, building up the foundation of esports. But if it wasn't for StarCraft in Korea, the capital of the world for esports, we would not have this DVD, and I would not have gotten the sign, and esports wouldn't be a thing today. Like all you League of Legends, Dota, not Counter-Strike, because Counter-Strike was around for a while. Yeah, without those games, we wouldn't be having like WCS and DreamHack in America. So, StarCraft's amazing. Peace. Oh, the link to my mixtape in the description box. I don't know why I had to say that. I just had to advertise it. Yeah.